I'm delighted to say I'm joined by Hong Kong's number one, Fan Leung. Thanks very much for joining us. How are you doing?
Good, man. Yourself?
Doing well, thank you. And let's start at the beginning for you in darts. In 2017, we saw you play at Q School at the start of that year. But before then, how long had you been playing and where did your interest in darts come from?
Yeah, I think my first played in 2013, May or June. That's the really first time I grabbed my house start in a electronic machines, darts live machine in the bar. That's how I started darts. But I was quite rejected in the beginning because at that time my colleague and some of friends play darts, but because I played golf at that time, so I thought it was stupid game at that time. That's why I didn't touch. But then some occasions in 2013 when me and my friend went to the bar, then how I started it and I keep practicing. I think until 2015 I grabbed the first 3 steel tip darts to play the steel tip board as well. So it's like on and between these years, it's like 5 to 6 years, I think.
So from picking up steel tip darts 2015, a couple of years later, you're then trying to get onto the professional circuit. What was the thinking behind going to Q School and giving it a go in 2017?
I think I quit my job and then I take my very seriously as darts as my career in 2016. So, and then of course at that moment was mainly soft tip in Asia, which I played. But then Royden at that time in 2017 said he will compete the Q School. I think he lost that card after the 2 years. So he somebody to go with him. So I just go with him. I just went with him in 2017. And plus my cousins live in Liverpool, so I can have a chance to meet him as well.
Excellent. Well, after that first Q School, you didn't get a card on that occasion, but you did take part in the UK Open qualifiers a week or so later, and under the old format back then, you were playing against tour card holders. What was it like playing in those events and against the best players in the world?
This was amazing. The Q School was amazing, basically the very intense 4 days. At that time, there's no splitting between UK or European players, so everybody played in weekend. In terms of the UK Open qualifier, yeah, it was still in the old format, right? So even your number 1 seed, you still have to play the UK Open qualifier. So I can, at that time, can see all the tour card players, right? So even I play some of them as well. So it's really a eyes wide open, and very much I learn a lot from these people as well. And very luckily, I think I gone through to the final as well with Royden. So then we come back to Minehead for the UK Open final. But I think I lost my first game against Jermaine Ratamina in the Minehead when I come back afterwards. But actually it's a very good experience because maybe that experience builds now as well, because now 2020 is my second time playing the UK Open. I think I went to second or third round, so which means I improve a little bit step by step.
Definitely, yeah. And you look back to 2017, it was a bit of a breakthrough year for you. You got into the UK Open, of course, you played in the PDC World Cup as well, and then towards the end of that year, you went through the North and East Asia qualifier to earn your debut at the PDC World Championship, and the draw, you pulled out with Paul Lim. How special was that to share the stage with Paul on your Ali Pali debut?
Yeah, I think the World Cup was special as well because it was my debut or first time playing the World Cup, because obviously Royden and Scott McKenzie always play for Hong Kong, and then I think their best the result was quarterfinal as well. So it's always good to play for your home country, right, as a national team. So I was looking forward at that time as well. I think we lost to Russia. But when you talk about the World Championship, yeah, I remember the day that Paul Lim won the Southeast Asian qualifier in Thailand, where I was playing WDF World Cup in Japan. So after he watched the live stream online that he won, we were very happy. And then I rang him up. Yeah, come on, you could do it in the other one in the Northeast Asia, so we can go it together. So it happens in the end. So we both made it, and it's my first time as well to play in the Annapali. But we're supposed to, do some practices before going to Annapali, but it came out that the draw is between me and him. So then afterwards, we didn't do any private sections or some sections with him afterwards. That was very funny.
And as you know, we spoke to Paul a couple of weeks ago for our Darts Legends series, and he's asked a question to you. He said, do you miss him?
I do, yeah. I text him every 2 weeks. Asking, and then sometimes FaceTime with him. Basically live in Hong Kong for 10 years now, so I think the last 1 or 2 years I've got a good relation with him, because I think I fly. We share the room sometimes because of the national team or other events. We share the room, or play against each other 8 to 10 times as well last year. So learn a lot from him, and then even, we chill a lot, so I do miss him and I do miss Hong Kong.
In terms of Hong Kong, of course, you've represented them last year in World Cups as well, but when we look at Q School, we didn't see you in 2018 or 2019, so what drove you to enter again at the start of this year?
Yeah, I didn't participate in the Q School in 2018 and 19 because it's very hard, for an Asian or foreign countries, people or darters to play in the Q School. It costs a lot of money. I think that's really a hurdle or barriers for international players to come over in UK. Even now, it's very hard as well, when I play here, and then it's very hard, to live here, to participate or compete as well. So, in terms of 2020, why do I come back again for the Q School? I don't know, because Roda is not coming this time. But one of my mates really want to come. I asked him whether you want to join after a Singapore soft tip in January as well. And they said yes. So that's why I came in the end. And didn't really have the intention 100% to think, I would get the tour card, but eventually I did.
Yeah, that's right. On the second day, you come through the field to win your tour card. You beat Dave Prince 5-4 in the last 8, and then Lisa Ashton 5-4 in the final game. So 2 very close games to get that tour card in the end. I mean, how did it feel when you'd beaten Lisa to win that tour card?
Oh, I mean, that was a huge game as well, because whoever wins, we've got a tour card. Of course, I think behind, even if it's a closed door tournament or even as a Q School tournament, there are 100 people standing behind the last board. I think the other board was Damon Heater and Bradley. My board is me against Lisa. So yeah, there were 100 people behind us. I think a lot of pressure. You can say pressure, but to be honest, I wanted Lisa to get a tour card as well, because I knew she just nearly missed out last year. So everybody wants her to win, but in the end, she got a tour card as well, which I was very glad, and I was very happy to get it in the second day. I think the first day I got some good averages. I don't know how did it came. I think I shoot 2 times 107, 108 average, 2 games, even in short format, but I couldn't know how I did that. And yeah, but it's a good sign that he carried on, bring the good momentum to the second day as well.
Definitely, yeah. And for yourself, being from Hong Kong to get to the UK, I think it's the best part of 6,000 miles. And I know you've been staying over a little bit since then, but on a usual trip, how long does it take to get from Hong Kong to over here in the UK?
Normally 14 hours if it's a direct flight. If it's transit in Dubai or in Frankfurt, then it's going to be 18 hours.
Yeah, certainly a lot of travelling, a lot of commitment, and when you get the tour card, obviously there's a lot that's going to change for you then in terms of your schedule for the year, and next year at least you've got entry into all the Players' Championship events, the UK Open, and some more as well, I'm sure. And I know we had the 4-month break, but you've played in everything so far this year. Was that always the aim when you got the tour card, to commit to as much as you could?
Yeah, after I got a tour card, or even before, I really want to come to play. And then, because if you got a tour card, you don't play here, you don't compete with the best. How can you know what's your ability, or how can you know how far could you go, right? Sometimes you need a little push. When the door opens, then that's a way to go, right? Of course, if the door shuts, then probably you might need to think a little bit. But if that tour card's door is open, so definitely you need to put like 100% at least participation, right? If you don't participate, it's very hard, to sustain or to play against or compete with the best.
And I read in an interview you did recently, you said about your cousin who lives in Liverpool, so you've stayed up there until the virus shut down the tour, but it was also chatting to Stephen Bunting. You struck up a friendship with him and also a practice partner as well.
Yeah, I'm now staying with him. Just came yesterday, so I'm in his home right now. I think that helps as well, because my cousin lives in Liverpool, so I can have a stay with him. At least somebody, he stayed here for 20 years already, so he knows everything. So which is good for me as well to have a stay, which didn't give me a lot of in terms of financial. Otherwise, if I need to rent another place, then the cost will be a lot, right? But as my cousin stay here, he got a spare room, so which is good that I can stay with him. Plus, I live in Liverpool, and Stephen lives in St. Helens, so it's very close. We both can practice together. I still remember the time that I met Stephen was in Barnsley. I think the first day or second day, and then somehow I sit in his table, and then I spoke to him. Live in Liverpool, blah blah blah, and then because in 2017, I think when Burton and I came, and then I think he invited Burton to come to his place as well, but we didn't go to his place at that time, so I just introduced myself, etc. So it's very nice to me. I mean, invited me to his league teams to play with him, practice with him, so I think it's really good.
Yeah, you got a great practice partner there, and also I believe he's shown you around a little bit as well. He took you to some Liverpool FC games, and he invited you to watch him in the Premier League when he was a challenger in Liverpool. What were those experiences like?
Oh, it's amazing. I think he brought me 2 times to the Liverpool Anfield, watch against West Ham, and I feel like in the European Champion. There was huge atmosphere, and then the day after the European Champions League was the Premier League, right, in M&S. So I watched, I think that's the last game before everything shuts. The last Premier League game as well. I think, wow, I think it's a quite good atmosphere, amazing atmosphere, and then you can see how people, how people like darts, these sports, in and out. So when I go to Liverpool, like sometimes everybody recognizes his face. Are you Stephen Bunting, or you play darts? Yeah, I think darts in this country, the sports, everybody knows these sports. While in Hong Kong, not a lot of people play darts, right? It's not the mainstream sports in Hong Kong, so it's a little bit different. So you feel good, you want to be on the stage when you watch a lot of these big games, tournament, or if you live in a, good place, which basically, that's why there are a lot of sportsmen in the UK, and why sports are so popular in the UK. I think that's the reason you want to stay.
Just a couple more before we let you go, and the Pro Tour resumes later this week in Germany with the Autumn Series. You've got the World Series qualifier first on the Friday. I mean, how much are you looking forward to playing again? It's been a little bit of a break for a lot of the tour card holders since the Summer Series.
I think it was literally like 2 months after the Summer Series. I found it a little bit awkward this time, because last time the Summer Series I nearly can't play because visa issues, but I came in UK and then literally clarify with the PDP about the visa issue. Basically, I can play, but I was waiting in the quarantine for 7 to 8 days in UK, so I was keep waiting whether I can play or not. But eventually I did, so which is good. And then now 2 months. It's 2 months after the summer series. I feel a little bit exhausted. I practice every day, but seems to need still not in the competitive, environment yet. I need to see how it goes, when the real game comes again. So hopefully can raise the game level to compete with the rest of the field.
And lastly, is the only current tour card holder from Asia right now. How does that feel? I mean, when do you play? Do you feel like you're flying the flag for not just Hong Kong, but Asia and Asian darts as well?
Yeah, as I said, it's very hard for even you're a really good player. I think there are lots of good Asian players. It's very hard, for them to really make the move, try to attempt the Q-square and even try to stay, even after you win a tour card. So if you can't say if I succeed, but now I'm trying to step by step to see how it goes, right? But it might give people another example about whether that can make it happen, right? At least if people see it, Kai can make it happen, even he's not on the top like 64 yet or top elite yet, but it still have a chance. So I think it gives an example. I can't say the example, but at least an example of all the Asian players. If they really want to, if you have a really good ability and if you want to play against the best, then come over. So I think that would be a good example for them as well. Just like my 2 Hong Kong young guys, they are trying to come for the World Youth Championship qualifier later this month, September, in Barnsley as well. So that's I say. I mean, you will see people looking forward to trying to attempt more, while before maybe not many people trying to attempt in the PDC. But I think that will help as well. That will help me, of course, and that hopefully will help some of the other players. But if they really want to come over UK, maybe when I got experience, then I can tell them what to do, the preparation, stuff like that. So which is good for me as well. If there's another Hong Kong player or Asian player can play against in the PDC circuit, so at least I got somebody to play with as well.
Fingers crossed for that. Well, Kai, really appreciate you taking out some time to have a chat with us, and wish you safe travels to Germany later this week, and wish you all the best for that and for the rest of the year as well.
Thank you, mate.